Hidden truths revealed. I always thought the scariest thing about our house was the creaking pipes, but that was before I found the door behind the laundry shelves. It was almost midnight when I noticed the gap in the wall, barely wide enough for a hand. Curiosity got the better of me, and I pried it open, half expecting spiders. Instead, what I found stopped my heart: a room lined with photographs, every inch covered in shots of my partner, arms wrapped around someone I'd never seen, their faces pressed close, laughing, kissing, living a life I never knew existed. I stared at the images, dozens, maybe hundreds, each one time-stamped, scattered over years. There they were, celebrating holidays, taking trips, even standing in front of our front door, but I was never in any of them. My hands shook as I sifted through the evidence: train tickets, notes written in a handwriting that wasn't mine, a necklace I'd once seen and been told was just a gift from work. The betrayal burned hot in my chest, and I could barely breathe as I realized how meticulously this secret had been kept. I confronted my partner the next morning, barely able to hold the rage in. At first there was denial, then silence, then the floodgates opened. The other person was someone from before we met, but the relationship had never ended. Parallel lives, they said, as if that made it better. Fights exploded, words thrown like knives, and I threatened to burn every picture. They begged me not to, swearing it was over, that I was the one they truly wanted. But all I could see were the lies, years of them, stacked up in that hidden room. Here's the twist: as I was packing to leave, I found one last box, covered in dust, shoved into a corner. Inside were photos of me, alone, in this house, on the porch, at the window, asleep on the couch. Pictures I never knew were taken. I realized then that maybe I'd been living my own parallel life, so wrapped up in the fantasy of us that I never saw the reality. Maybe I was just as guilty, loving the idea of someone more than the actual person standing in front of me.